Hi everybody. I'm making a video, pushing myself again. It's like pulling teeth to speak. And I started to make this video and then I was like, "Oh my god, what am I even going to say? What am I even going to say? What am I going to talk about?" And I have so much I want to say and so much I want to do, but it's just like pulling teeth for me to be able to speak. I mean, God, and just live and thrive. And it's like, how do we live this life? And it's like, just fucking do it, you know? Just put like one foot in front of the other in whatever way that looks like. And just have the confidence to like move. And I guess that's something that I'm still struggling with. We had, on Saturday, we had this pretty historic flood. It flooded really bad in southern West Virginia. And when I graduated high school in 2001 and 2002, we had two floods back to back. I graduated in '02 in McDowell County, the southernmost county in West Virginia, where these was this historic flooding. And it was supposed to be like the 100-year flood is what they called it. And the only other big flood that had happened like that was in the 70s before I was born. And then we had these floods back to back. And now we had horrific flooding, like people died, and it's just horrible. It was just so depressing to see this area that was hit so hard. We actually had to um where I live in the next county over, we actually had to leave and go to my mom's, who lives in the next county over from where I'm at, just because there was so much flash flooding in southern West Virginia. But the southernmost county, McDowell County, was hit so hard. It was worse than when I graduated high school in 2002. People died, and just this go round, it was just awful. And it's just so gut wrenching to see such such a place that can't afford to have such turmoil, like just get engulfed in this like muddy, polluted, flash flooding. It's so sad. And I said in my first video, I was like, this is where southern West Virginia is, where dreams come to die. And that's true, but that's just because it's just an area in decline, and it's been in decline for decades. But dreams don't come here to die, because nobody comes here who has a dream. People are here. And the reason I'm here is because my grandfather came to West Virginia to have a dream. He came from Spain to New York City to southern West Virginia, McDowell County, to work in the mines and actually like live the American dream, and to have a life and this career and provide for his family, and to do all these things that he did. And you know, that's the reason I'm here bitching about being stuck in this place that's so depressed. But it's just the place. It's just a mountainous region. It's like living in like a rainforest, sort of. I mean, there's just like a lot of mountains and moisture, and not a lot of like economic prosperity, but there's a lot of natural beauty. And I felt kind of selfish for even feeling like bad about still being in West Virginia, because I know like what's taken me so long to get to where I'm at, even mentally. It's not because of the area. It didn't, where you are at physically, that's just where you are. It doesn't actually hold you back or define you. You know, the actual limitations that I've put on myself. And that's what we all do. We are all just like fucking crippled by this fearful programming that we've had. And I mean, I was thinking the other day, my God, like I'm trying to do what my grandfather did, which is just basically like go out and find a place where, you can put down these roots in the world that feel like yours, your roots. And, some people have it in the place where they are born and raised, and some people have to find that. And to even like start that journey, it's like you have to answer something inside of yourself that says, like, yes, I am worthy. And no, I'm not going to be anchored into a place of immobility by whatever notions that I have of programming, or what things are supposed to be like, and what I'm supposed to do next, and the person I'm supposed to be. And that's a big thing to get over, and nothing like a natural disaster to kind of put it into perspective, that it is up to us. I remember when Katrina happened, it was like a big deal that FEMA didn't do anything, and the US government, like, did they help? I mean, like a month later or 3 weeks later, they were like, oh, yeah, I guess we need to get down there and actually help. And like, I don't know if this is true, but I read it or heard it somewhere that the Canadian Mountie actually got to New Orleans to help out before our own government did. And at the time, it was considered like just kind of like a racist, like one off or whatever. It was just an exception. It was just like a racist exception. That's the way I took it, that FEMA or whoever wasn't coming to help. But then, you know, 2020, Lahaina, Hawaii, something about that just really ripped my heart out. I felt that. I've never been to Hawaii, but something about that fire just hurt my heart so bad. North Carolina, um, you know, and now this, we'll see what they do in California. California is kind of different because it has a lot of eyes on it, and it has a lot of people in the community who have money and the resources to rebuild personally and really give back to the community and rebuild the community. So it's kind of an exception. But if you live in an area that is like, oh yeah, is there like some type of federal agency or a group or an organization that can come in and actually help us rebuild our lives? If you depend on that organization, um, yeah, the cavalry is not coming. And Southern West Virginia, it's like you live in that knowing that they ain't coming ever. And man, it's kind of liberating. Once you get past the kind of disappointment and shock, and then I almost get mad at myself for forever like believing it so much, that like someone was here to save us or something was here to like help. Um Once I got past like kind of the shock of what an illusion it is all turning out to be, I'm starting to consciously try to um take some solace in that, that is, it is up to me. And, I've always wondered if we have free will, right? So we have free will. That's like the name of the game of humanity. Um, is free will. We can choose, and we can do, and we can, like live the hero's journey in theory. If we have free will, and if it's like we can choose what we want to, and what is going to happen, what is meant to happen, and that is what does happen, and that is destiny, but we choose it. But if it's going to work out the way it's going to work out, and the way it works out is the way it did, I mean, then where's the choice? You know what I mean? Like, if it's like pick one way or another, and the way, and you make a choice, the choice you make is the choice you are always going to make. So it's like, is there free will, or is there like some type of code or path or something? What separates my choice from your choice, and that's, me from you. But why am I me? Why are you you? We are who we are, and like the origins of why, and like a master plan, and all that stuff. I mean, who knows? Like literally no one. But we're here, regardless of the past, or what happened, or where we're at, or who has let us down. The help that's not coming, none of them are going to help us. This is what I'm understanding. The all of it, the politics, it's like right or left, you know lesser of two evils. If you have ever said that with a straight face, you've got. We all have. We've all gotten got. Um, out of this entire giant country, there are two choices, and it should be like, man, we should all like have. They should be like the best of the best choices, to the point where we all have to like make a pros and cons list, like, man, really like weigh our options, because it's hard to choose just one. It should be like, not the lesser of two evils. How did that even happen? How do you have two evil choices? And if that's the choice, that's no choice at all. So yeah, the president's not helping. They're not. The whole thing is a charade. And man, I did have this spiritual awakening in 2020. And I'm so grateful to that year, and for everything that happened, just in the same way that I'm grateful for all the obstacles of life. If you can live through it, step one, live through it, come out on the other side, then you're automatically like a survivor, because you've survived it. You've made it out to the other side. But if you can actually then take that next step of saying, okay, now what? Then you become like a thriver. And that's how, fucking anybody can survive for a time, but to really take that next step, and instead of just like living through this, uh, live through this whole, but instead of just like just living through it, to take that next step of consciously like doing something with myself, with life, with this time that we have. That's everything. And it's like liberating. I'm trying to just really be excited about the fact that a savior is not coming, and like I said before, some people think it's going to be like a religious thing. And no, I don't think so. I really don't. Because I don't know. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but if there was a savior coming, then there would be no point to life, because we wouldn't have free will. We wouldn't have somebody intervening. And so I put my as I've said, like, my savior was, the external, like the celebrity world, even. I had, like, you could say, false idols. Like, I worshipped celebrities, like, as gods among men, and politics, and all that. I just had like faith in these institutions because I was told to. And when religion didn't work, it was still like, oh yeah, well, of course I'm going to college. What else am I going to do? And now that here I am at 40, trying to like pursue these dreams, but I've almost gotten to a place where I have to be really aware to not be smothered by my goals, to really like stand in my autonomy and be sure-footed enough to say, hey, I can have this dream. This dream is mine. It's my dream. Therefore, of course, something good has to come from it. It's the only thing I can follow at this point, because it's my own. Everything else was a dead end. That was a gifted dream, or an insisted dream, or like an imposed dream. But I just to follow my own path. It's like the only thing that I can do. But I kind of forgot where I was going with that. And I apologize. This whole thing is kind of rambly, but I don't really know what to do. I just feel compelled to make videos. And although it's incredibly, incredibly difficult. It just feels like all I can do now. And I wanted to say that about the flooding as well, because it does put things in perspective, you know? One of these days, it's going to be, you know, our last day on the planet for all of us. We're all going to have our dates, you know, our birth date and our death date. It's going to happen. It's the only like guarantee. So why are, you know, why am I so afraid of what, you know, why am I so afraid of like failure or of trying, or I'm just, why am I afraid? You know, and it's like they say, act like you have nothing to lose, or what would you do if you knew that you um, couldn't lose? Like, why don't we live like that? You know, and it's okay. What I'm finding out is that it's okay that it's taking a while to unravel all the programming, because that fear is the programming of this fucking old system. It's crumbling, and it's a fear based system. It's like a faith based and a fear based system, and it's crumbling. And you know, if we can't live from a place of autonomy, and also with a sense of just community and understanding and discernment, and just to like let the illusions crumble, you know? I mean, the Wizard of Oz is so such a beautiful movie. It's so true. I mean, this motherfucker all along, this great and powerful it is just a douchebag with a megaphone, like standing behind the curtain. And you know, and if you're actually like lucky enough to see what it is, it's the great and powerful is just this, you know, dick with a dick and a megaphone. I mean, what are we going to do with that knowledge? You know, and it's just like live from a place of love, but the love has to be self love, and follow our dreams and not be crippled by fear. So that's why I'm making this video. And y'all have a good night.